Hey, welcome back. It's 9:33. Our four-legged friends can suffer from the same ailments as humans. Now, smoking can be harmful to you and also your furry friends, potentially causing cancer, asthma, or even death. Our great friend of the show, Dr. Daniel Spencer, is here to talk about the dangers of secondhand smoke with your pet. Good morning to you,
yes,
Daniel.
Good
Always a pleasure to see you, Doc.
You too.
Okay, is it something that people and pet owners think about? Because they probably know the dangers of themselves,
Exactly.
but can it affect the little ones?
Absolutely. And, you know, as if you don't already have incentive to quit smoking, what about your little furry pets? Because they spend all of their time at home, and therefore they're exposed to secondary smoke. You know, carcinogenic particles are falling all over the ground and the couch and the chair, and they're licking it, and that's how they become exposed to it. And also it's on their fur. So all day they're sitting there exposed to it.
A lot of times, Doc, a person can maybe move outside another room, you know, if there's secondhand smoke, but a lot of times that pet is up on the couch with their owner.
Right. Exactly, and that's terrible because they're directly right there in front of it. And then you also have to think that a lot of times once they put the cigarette down, they leave it in the ashtray and then the pet can eat it, and you know, you can really have problems. And it's particularly a concern with birds because—
With birds? Never even think of that.
They can absolutely just drop dead from cigarette smoke. So I always tell, you know, all of my friends, do not get a bird if you smoke.
Is that because the bird is sitting in a cage up higher where the smoke rises to?
Right, exactly. They're exposed to the secondary smoke too because it's floating in the air. And all they do, they're grooming themselves as well. And just inhaling it, because of their respiratory system, they just cannot handle inhalant materials at all.
Tell us about some of the signs that your pet might be suffering from that secondhand smoke.
Right, because it can mock so many other conditions, but usually the first thing that'll happen is they may vomit, especially if they've ingested, for instance, a little cigarette butt. And I have to tell you that there are different types of nicotine that they can be exposed to, because there's the liquid nicotine, there's the nicotine patch, you know, in addition to the cigars and the cigarette butts. But what'll happen is, you know, as they ingest it, they can vomit, they can have tremors, it can get to the point where they seizure. So it can get very serious very quickly.
Just like humans, probably cuts down on their life expectancy as well.
Absolutely. In the event that, you know, they don't have an episode where they've eaten it, for instance, if they're exposed over several years, they can, as you mentioned, get cancer. Very often in cats, it's the primary reason they get lymphoma.
Just shy of quitting smoking for your furry little friend, what can you do to help prevent and maybe curtail some of the dangers?
Right. Well, definitely smoking away from the pet is the best. So if you go outdoors and just, you know, don't have your pet outdoors with you, that would be the best thing. And then the next thing, if you want to pet them right afterwards, it's probably not realistic, but, you know, we prefer that you know, take a shower, change your clothes, you know, brush your teeth, the whole thing, because they're going to be licking on you, so they're exposed that way too.
Daniel, is that because of the nicotine is coming through our pores,
right,
or it's on their clothes?
It's just in the air, wafting in the air, and it just lands on our skin. And they're licking us, and they're licking, you know, anything. They're always very friendly. Also, if you have air purifiers, that certainly helps as well. But ideally, of course, we would like people to quit altogether for their own health.
For their own health, as well as their four-legged friends as well.
Right.
Is there treatment if a cat, bird, dog is diagnosed with maybe secondhand smoke disease, after effects? Are there some treatments for that?
Well, you know, the first thing is identifying it, which a lot of times we don't even have the history that they've been exposed to cigarettes. So we would treat the symptoms. And primarily we want to make sure that their airways are open. Also, we can clean out the stomach once they're under anesthesia. And if they have any signs of seizuring, for instance, or tremors, we can treat that as well. But the ideal thing is to, you know, call poison control if you're not sure, but definitely head to the veterinarian if you even suspect that it's happened. The sooner we see them, the better.
Life-saving advice for two-legged and four-legged friends,
yes,
right? Doctor, it's always a pleasure. Great
Good
to see you. All right, we're gonna, before we head to break.